Type a sentence into an AI, and somewhere behind the glass, a little meter starts counting. But watch what it counts. The word "the," 1 tick. A long, fancy word, also 1 tick. And then some short, ordinary word you'd never look twice at. 3 ticks. It isn't counting letters, and it isn't counting words. It's counting something in between, something you can't see, sitting in the gaps between the letters on your screen. That invisible thing has a name. It's called a token. It's the true unit an AI reads in, the thing you're actually charged by, and the reason it sometimes trips over words a child could spell. Today, I want to show you exactly what a token is. And by the end, that strange little meter is going to make perfect sense. Here's the first thing to let go of. When you read this sentence, you see words. Maybe, if you slow right down, letters. That's your unit. The machine doesn't see either one. Before it can do anything, before a single flicker of so-called thinking happens, your text gets cut into pieces. Not 1 piece per word, not 1 per letter. Pieces of its own choosing. Some as big as a whole word, some just 2 or 3 letters long. Each of those pieces is a token. And that cutting up is the very first thing that happens to everything you type. Picture a little machine, a chopper. Everything you send an AI goes in the top, whole, and it comes out the bottom in chunks. But here's the strange part. The chopper doesn't cut wherever it likes. It has a fixed set of blades, a fixed menu of pieces it already knows how to make. When your text drops in, it slices it into the biggest known pieces it can find. A common little word like the chopper has a blade for exactly that. So it comes out as 1 clean piece. But a longer or rarer word might not have its own blade at all. So the chopper does the best it can. It shatters that word into smaller pieces it does recognize. This machine has a name. It's called a tokenizer. And every AI has one, sitting right at the front door, chopping everything you say into tokens before the model reads a single word of it. Now that strange meter from the start begins to make sense. Feed in the word "the," 1 token. Feed in cat, 1 token. Words like these are everywhere in the text the chopper was built from, so each one earned its own blade. Now feed in the word tokenization. You might expect 1 big piece, but the chopper has no blade for the whole thing, so it cuts where it can. Token and ization. 2 pieces for 1 word. And a truly rare word, a foreign name, something invented, a long chemical, has no ready-made blades at all. So it crumbles into a handful of tiny fragments, sometimes right down to single letters. That's the rule, and it's a little backwards. The more familiar the word, the fewer the pieces. It's rarity that gets expensive. So where did those blades come from? Nobody sat down and carved them by hand. And this is the part worth slowing down for. Long before you ever showed up, the chopper was built from a giant pile of text, a huge slice of the internet. And it started as simply as it possibly could. The only pieces it knew were single letters, just the alphabet. Then it played 1 game, over and over. It looked across all that text and asked a single question. Which 2 pieces sit next to each other most often? Whatever one. It glued together into 1 brand new piece and added that piece to its menu. At first, that might be T and AH fusing into thets. Then the and a fusing into the. Little words and word parts build themselves up, merge by merge, ing, chin, even the, with the space in front of it. Do that tens of thousands of times, and you've grown a whole menu of pieces, from bare letters all the way up to common whole words. Purely by asking, again and again, what tends to sit next to what. That game has a name. It's called Byte pair encoding. Don't let the words worry you. It only means merge the most common pair over and over. and it's older than these AIs. It started life as a trick for shrinking computer files back in the 1990s. Someone later realized the very same trick could teach a machine how to read. When the merging finally stops, you're left with a fixed list, the chopper's complete menu of pieces. And that list is the entire vocabulary the AI will ever have. For the models behind something like ChatGPT, that menu holds around 100,000 pieces. The newer ones about twice that. It sounds like a lot, until you remember it has to cover every word, in every language, plus code, punctuation, and even the spaces. Anything you type has to be rebuilt out of pieces from that one fixed list. Nothing else exists, as far as the machine is concerned. Let's run one real word through, start to finish, and watch a famous little mystery solve itself. The word strawberry. You and I see 10 letters, and 3 R's among them, plain as day. Send it through the chopper, and it comes out in 3 pieces, but not the pieces you'd guess. Not straw and berry. The machine cuts it its own way, along seams it happens to know. And here's the crucial part. Inside each piece, the letters are fused together into one solid lump. The model never sees S-T-R-A-W-B-E-R-R-Y. It sees 3 chunks. So when people asked it how many R's are in strawberry, a whole generation of these models famously got it wrong because they couldn't look inside their own pieces to count. It's like asking you to count the letters in a word you can only see as a blur. That's not the AI being stupid. That's the chopper doing exactly what it was built to do. And the newest models only pass that test because they were specially trained to work around their own chopper. So why should you care about a hidden little chopper? Because tokens quietly run 3 things you feel every single day. First, the bill. When you pay to use an AI, you're not charged by the word, you're charged by the token. That uneven meter from the very start, that's the real price tag. Second, the limit. Every model can only hold so much at once, and what it's counting isn't words, it's tokens. That's what fills up when a long chat finally hits its ceiling. And third, fairness. Because the chopper was built mostly on English, English gets the fat, efficient pieces. The very same sentence in some other languages shatters into several times as many tokens. For the least served languages, 5 times or more. Which means it's slower to process, and it literally costs more to say the exact same thing. Same meaning, different price, purely because of how it gets chopped. Now, the honest catch, the thing to keep in the back of your mind. A token is not a unit of meaning. It isn't a syllable. It isn't a root. It isn't anything a language teacher would ever draw. It's just whatever pairing happened to be common in a giant pile of text. So the seams fall in strange places. A name can get split straight down the middle, and the same word with a capital letter or just an extra space in front of it becomes a completely different token. So the machine inherits every quirk of that chopping. It's a little bit blind inside its own pieces, which is exactly why counting letters or spelling a word backwards or simple arithmetic on a long number could famously trip up something that would happily write you an essay. The intelligence is real. The blind spot belongs to the chopper. So, quickly, let's clear up the thing people trip on most. Letters are your smallest unit. Words are your natural unit. But tokens are the machine's unit, and they line up neatly with neither. A token is usually a chunk bigger than a letter and smaller than a word. Very roughly, about 4 characters of English, around 3/4 of a word, sometimes a whole word, sometimes just a scrap. Almost never quite what you'd expect. When you start thinking in tokens, you're finally thinking in the machine's own units. So the next time you type a message and watch a little counter tick up, or you hit a length limit, or you remember how counting the R's in strawberry once stumped the smartest machines on Earth, now you know what's really going on underneath. There's a chopper at the front door. It cuts your words into pieces, from a fixed menu it taught itself long ago by merging whatever showed up next to whatever most often. Those pieces are tokens, and they are the true unit that everything an AI does is built from. That uneven little meter was never a glitch. It's the first, invisible step of the machine reading you. If this made the idea click for you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.